All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Voice of Reason podcast. I'm coming to you live from the Roselle Catholic High School here in beautiful Roselle, New Jersey. I'm standing here next to one of my all-time favorite coaches, probably one of the nicest people and one of the finest human beings I've ever known in my life. His name is Dave Boff. He's a three-time state champion in the state of New Jersey, as well as a tournament of champions. Dave, I know you've got limited dates. I know you're on a limited time scheduled. I appreciate you stopping by. I had the privilege of coming up here watching practice for about 15 minutes. How are you doing? How are you feeling these days?
I'm doing very well, Voice. I appreciate you coming up, and pleasure to have you as always.
It's like I said, our history, we have such a great history between the two of us going back almost close to a decade now, and we've always, like I said, we've always gotten along. We've known each other a long time, and this year should be a very exciting year for RC basketball. I'm looking forward to seeing it. There are a lot of big dates coming up. You've got some, though you lost a couple big names, and I know that I had a nice interview with one of your foreign players. I want to apologize firsthand of the comments that were made that we're not going to discuss right here on this segment. But I will definitely tell you that the players you have coached over the years, some of the finest young men, whether they were past and or present. You do lose Matt Bullock to graduation, should have a very good season over Rutgers. Andre Rafis is back home in Baltimore. Big names coming in, including a little bit of my connection. That would be Deion Harris. And a guy that decided to go a little south of the border. That would be Midwestern's own Khalil Whitney from the hills of Chicago. How excited are you for this season?
Very excited. I think the guys have been working hard. And, I've been pleased with what the fall has looked like for us so far. And, we'll just see how things go as we get closer to the season.
And it goes really towards the biggest of bigs, the number 6 player in the 2018 class, Naz Reid. How excited are you to have him back?
I mean, Naz is a great kid, great player. He's been a fantastic leader for us this fall, and I know he's looking forward to having a big season this year.
You've been a guy who you went to this school, I believe, here. No, you did not. I really thought for some reason you graduated from here.
I did not.
But you are a New Jersey guy. But ever since you really took over the reins of coaching, it seems like everything has moved in the right direction. And it really all started probably about 6-7 years ago when Jamil Warney, probably the biggest name ever to come out, graduated from Stony Brook. He's now doing well for himself. I believe he's now with the Dallas Mavericks. And then you have that's really where you and I started to get to know each other, and that's Hakeem St. Teal and Tyler Roberson, and then, of course, Isaiah Briscoe. What has been the transition being over here at Roselle Catholic?
I mean, it's just we've had the opportunity to coach a bunch of great players. We've been fortunate to have, those types of players want to come to our school and go here at Roselle Catholic. And, it's been a privilege to coach them, and we're excited to have our new group this year.
The staff itself, I have a very good relationship with Tom Sachs, Eric Woronecki, and just the list continues. How happy have you been to have this wonderful staff by your side?
It's the hardest group of guys that I certainly know. To have the type of coaches that I have here with me, doing what they do day in, day out is, I couldn't ask for anything more. There's no Roselle Catholic success without all the coaches doing the things they do.
I thought about this a lot on my way up here. 3 years ago, there was this young man who walked into the doors here at Roselle Catholic, and Roselle Catholic played St. Anthony's. It was probably one of the biggest wins in the history of Roselle Catholic basketball. Refresh my memory. Who was that announcer at Roselle Catholic? I think it was The Voice, wasn't it?
That was you.
I think it was definitely The Voice. But that's been just among the biggest type of wins. What's on the list for this year? What are the key matchups here? Not only here at Roselle Catholic, but what's on the list for Roselle Catholic?
Again, we probably have one of the toughest schedules around, which has typically been the case over the last few years. We'll play our traditional game against Montverde. We'll play Paul VI at home. We'll play DeMatha down in the Cancer Research Classic on ESPN. We'll play another ESPN game down in the Cancer Research Classic. And
Slam Dunk to the Beach, I hear.
And we'll be doing the Slam Dunk to the Beach and the Hoop Hall as well. So a very, very difficult schedule for us.
As well as the league schedule. St. Pat's probably highlighting that. Nick Richards is back. There's a lot of big names that have been lost, but there are a lot of names that are returning. And just recently, Marcus McClary making his commitment to Monmouth today. Jameer Harris, also a name. What do you look forward to in your league matchups?
I mean, Union County is the best league anywhere, maybe in the country. So
better than the PCL though in Philadelphia.
I think so.
We don't talk about that PCL. Dave Boff, like I said, I know you're on a unlimited schedule. We appreciate you stopping by. It's always nice to see you, my friend. Dave Boff again here on another audio edition, or should say on the podcast edition of Voice of Reason. I'm Jake Schwartz, back with final thoughts again after this. All right, and another edition of the Voice of Reason podcast. I'm Jake Schwartz. Had a nice 15 or 20-minute practice watching Roselle Catholic Lions. Let's do the breakdown on Roselle Catholic. Should be a very tough team to watch, in not only the Union County, but you heard it from here. Dave Boff, we want to thank him again for joining us here on Voice of Reason. And Dave mentioning that this probably is among the toughest schedules now. Paul VI will be among the elite matchups. And I'm wondering if that's New Jersey or Virginia. And if it is Virginia, always a privilege to welcome in Paul VI with Brandon Slater and Corey Manigault. They'll be, or I should say, among those names that will be playing here at the Lions Den. Also, let's not forget a big matchup in the primetime shootout with Montverde Academy, the former national champions. Also, Roselle Catholic will head to the Slam Dunk to the Beach and play some of the best competition down in the Cape Lewes, or I should say Lewes, Delaware, in the Cape area. Roselle Catholic looking to make it 4 state titles in 5 years, and also 3 tournament of champions in the last 5 years. They will lose Andre Rafus, who's going back to Baltimore. Matt Bullock has graduated. I believe Leandre Washington is here. I'm not 100%. I'm trying to figure out if he's still available to play at Roselle Catholic, but nonetheless, the Lions will return. Will bring in newcomers from Chicago native Khalil Whitney, Man, I'm starting to get tongue-tied. I can't even believe what's going on over here. This is insane. Khalil Whitney, who comes from the Midwest in Chicago, Illinois. Dion Harris from my neck of the woods in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He'll be a big addition this coming year. Also back with the team is Temple commit Nate Pierre-Louis and his brother Josh, who should make a very, very fine impact at Roselle Catholic. Also expected back this coming year will probably be the biggest name of all. That's the number 6 2018 player, Naz Rayon Reed. A lot of new additions again that we're looking forward to seeing. It should be a very good year. Again, Roselle Catholic will probably have one of the toughest schedules in the country. They will have to face Nick Richards and St. Patrick's. Congratulations go out to Marcus McClary, who recently today, whenever you are listening to this, Marcus McClary has committed to Monmouth State University. He joins Jameer Harris as another Division I commit, who was committed about a week or so ago to the University of Minnesota. Hey, we want to thank Dave Boff again, the head basketball coach, for joining us. Want to remind everybody that Dave Boff did not attend Roselle Catholic, but you know what? He has been a New Jersey man his entire life, and we appreciate him stopping by here on another edition of Voice of Reason. And for another edition of the Voice of Reason podcast, I'm Jake Schwartz, coming to you from the beautiful home of the 3-time state New Jersey champions and tournament champion Roselle Catholic Lions. We'll see you at the games.